Now, how do we understand and interpret the Bible? I know you have a whole class on that. Probably Mark Strout, who knows, Paul Weaver. I don't know who teaches it. But how do you understand hermeneutics? Not homiletics, communicating, but hermeneutics. How do you understand the Bible? Well, here's the simple course. Correct interpretation of any part of the Bible, my part that they've assigned me to, or all the others, is based on the historic, geographic, and the scriptural context. And when you combine that with the actual grammar, all the exact words and the tenses and everything else, you have proper interpretation. But you say, wait a minute. Did all of them have to do that? Did they have to get a Greek lexicon and all that? No, see, that's the problem. They were hearing it directly targeted for where they were. We need all that so that we can understand what that message was. And how do we put it? Well, the first rule, and I already said this, of textual interpretation is, what did God mean when he spoke to the original recipients? So to understand the book of Revelation, the danger is to say, well, to me this means. Now, I've led enough Bible studies. I go, oh, that's like running your fingers on blackboards. You probably don't even know what that expression is. It used to be in the old days, they had these hard boards and they wrote with chalk. And if you did something wrong, it was like running your fingernails down that, and it made this horrible noise, and it was screechy. That's what it's like when someone says, well, to me, the Bible means this, because it doesn't really matter what it means to me. It matters what it meant to God, the message he wanted to communicate. Now, how it applies to me is vital. What it means, there's actually only one true biblical interpretation of any passage of the Scripture. Did you know that? There aren't 20. There are 7 different interpretations. No, there are 7 views. God did not mean 7 different things. Did you know that? And the lifelong goal for all of us is to understand the totality of the Scripture. There's a word called analogia scriptura, which is part of the Reformation, which means that the Scriptures interpret the Scriptures. And the more that you understand the whole, the more you'll understand any individual part. Although, do you remember what Peter said about Paul? You all remember that, right? I think, doesn't Don Locke teach 1st, 2nd Peter or something? But when he covered that, do you remember what Peter says about Paul? Peter says, Paul writes many things that are very hard to understand. Peter said that about Paul? Yeah. You see, it's not just us that are spending our lives trying to understand the Bible. They were trying to understand. But what did God mean when he spoke to the original recipients? Who are the original recipients? Right there they are. I mean, they're those 7 churches that represented all the churches, but they were 7 literal geographic locations. Historic, in fact, Bonnie and I, we've led groups to, like many other people, to all those places. And when you walk around them, you see that there were real people living in real places. They had real problems. And Jesus addresses local problems and applied his truth to their lives.